So going across the channel, it got pretty windy. We saw sort of 20s and then up to 25 average. So I just clipped on and did an inline peel to the sealant. Noticed when I was doing that, conditions on the deck were pretty slippy with the spray, and decided I would clip on for the rest of the things I was doing, which, to be honest, is something I don't really do enough. And then I came back, and again it was getting windier, so I wanted to try and get some sleep before the other side because it was going to be quite tactical. And to help with the balance on the boat, I put a reef in the main to see what the speed would be like, and it was quite good. So I put the reef, went to tidy it. So to tidy up, I had some ropes to finish working with on the sealant. So I clipped on to this jackstay here, which is to let us walk the length of the boat with the harness on. And it was up here at the shrouds, which I'd untie and change some ropes. I then stood up on the coach roof here and was leaning out towards the boom to put elastics through to tidy up the reef that we put on. I'm also standing here, the boat pitching in the waves made my feet like slip, and because they were sort of half on the rail, they slipped over this and then didn't hit the rest of the boat. They went through the gap in the guardrail through here, and I just remember my toes clipped this and my ass like clipped the toe rail. And I went out of the boat, basically just saw the bubbles everywhere and was facing away from the boat, so I couldn't like turn to grab stuff. And I did try and catch with my arms on these, but as soon as my legs got into the water with the speed I was going, it was like someone yanking you to go out of the boat. So I fell, and the harness went slid down this to here and went taut. With it being like 2 meters long, I ended up sort of halfway back along the canyard here. So when I first went in, it's just you get pulled from here, so I was facing that way. So I remember doing like a 180 in about a second, and like whiplash almost, and then instantly was just water rushing up, and then the life jacket went off, which is good, so it shows it worked, but it went off, and there's water, then explosion of things. It was all very like disorientating, and the first 30 seconds, to be honest, were very like, oh my god, this is real bad, like this is what the stories you hear about. And then I was able to, my feet got sucked under the boat with the way the boat was going to like spin me towards the boat, and I was able to grab onto this stanchion and get my arm around in a way that I could get the water from my face so I could like breathe properly again, but there's loads of spray. And I took like a second or two to figure out until I tried to climb through here, but there was so much force pulling you, and my harness had come from this side and around, so I couldn't go through this side without having to go back. So eventually I thought about it, and I had my pilot remote with me, and I pressed the button that makes the boat tack. So the boat sailing along with me here then turns to the wind and tacked, and with the sails on this side, the boat almost capsized. It got pinned over this way with all the ballast on the wrong side, the sails, and because it was like this, I ended up like hanging over the boat, but just like a drowned rat, like just hanging there but not in the water anymore. I was able to like flop in. So I flopped in here, unclipped from here, and moved back to the boat, clipped on here, and got the boat, started sailing again, and got some speed, sort of checked, and I was okay on the fleet speed-wise. So I went downstairs and just stripped completely naked, and I have a small towel, so I got myself relatively dry and comfortable, and I had a spare change of bottom layers. It was only the oilskins that were still wet, and it took me maybe an hour to sort of get myself back into racy mode and then catch up, and it was quite cold, so I was happy when we got to France that some sun came out to let me dry a little bit, and yeah.